Listen, Patrick, there comes a time in every man's life when he's got to settle down. You know, get a wife, kids, a father-in-law you give all your money to.
SpongeBob Season 4 has a lot of weird episodes. There's good episodes, there's bad episodes, and then there's episodes like Rule of Dumb, which I'm kinda split on. What I'm not so split on, though, are the 3 mistakes in this one episode of SpongeBob. Here's the first mistake. Okay, so as you guys know, backgrounds are a big part of SpongeBob. Normally, when undersea, we get these types of backgrounds where we can see these like flower designs in the background. Now, I've said the word like 4 times already, but remember, they're supposed to be in the background. But in Rule of Dumb, when the kids are licking lollipops in the clips you guys just seen, the flowers in the sky background are like overlapping with part of the sand, which should not be happening. Like, look at how bad this looks. These flowers are supposed to be in the distant, in the background. They should not be overlaying with layers like the ground. So yeah, really funny mistake. And here's mistake number 2.
Ask anything you want and it's all free.
All free! Nobody eats in any restaurant for free, king or no king.
So as all of you guys already probably know, the Krusty Krab has a sign, all right? It's this sign right here, and it's literally in every scene where we see the Krusty Krab normally. But in Rule of Dumb, the Krusty Krab sign is not seen in the episode at all, even in shots where it really should be there. Like in this shot right here, we should be able to see the sign right here. If we look at another shot from another episode, the sign's right here, so just, yeah, another mistake. Like I said though, 3 mistakes in one episode. We've got another one from Rule of Dumb, and this one's really bad.
Well, here's what I think of your trading!
My royal subjects have deserted me.
Okay, so this one definitely needs a little bit of context. So as you guys know, SpongeBob is made by Nickelodeon, right? But that doesn't mean that the actual animation, the 2D animation, is done by Nickelodeon. It was actually done back in the day by a company called Rough Draft Korea. So the episodes were written and produced in like America, but the actual animation was done in Korea. Now, during the scene you guys just saw during that bubble transition, if we slow things down and pause, we can actually see a blue screen in the background with the date May 26th, 2006 from Rough Draft Korea. And this is a major mistake. We shouldn't be able to see this. This is from the process of animating the episode. When the bubble transition happens, it's going from one scene to another scene. And this blue sheet is in the background pretty much of the scenes transitioning, and they slipped up. We shouldn't be able to see it. I'm over explaining it, so let's head over to another episode with a wild mistake. And really though, guys, stay tuned because I'm saving some of the craziest mistakes for last. Let's do this. Let's head over to another episode.
Patrick's my friend. Sometimes if he's eating worm food by mistake, he goes into worm mode.
Up next is a sneaky mistake in the episode Pat the Dog. Roll the footage.
Roll over. Patrick, wait!
So I already know that this one needs some explaining because it's just a very subtle and complicated error. But when SpongeBob says Patrick wait, if you look closely, his right thumb and arm are only partially outlined, and they kind of look a little neon green. Forget about the neon green part though. What really matters here is, as you can see on one side of his arm, there's the outline. Had to clear my throat. Sorry guys, I'm dying. But yeah, if you look very closely, you can see half of his arm is outlined, and then the other half where his thumb and the inside of his arm are, they just weren't outlined. It's a very simple mistake. The animators, I don't know what they were doing, but this is a mistake, guys, and we've got more. Let's keep the video going. Sandy Cheeks has come up with a lot of revolutionary ideas for the Krusty Krab. For example, squirrel jellies, one, or even the episode where she comes up with a growth hormone that makes Krabby Patties bigger. But season 13's Hot Crust Nuts is definitely her biggest endeavor yet, with her making these nuts that do this. Here, take a look for yourself.
You have a reply.
Now this episode has 2 mistakes in total. Here's the first one. It's very easy to miss, and it has to do with the chum bucket.
Don't you love the new look?
The restaurant!
So take a look at these clips before. You've seen them before because this is a common mistake in SpongeBob, but the Krusty Krab and Chum Bucket are supposed to be directly across from one another. It's been seen like this in so many episodes, guys. It's it's a fact. But in some of these scenes from Hot Cross to Nuts, the Chum Bucket just isn't there. Even the path to the Chum Bucket is missing at times. It's just like the Chum Bucket just does not exist in this episode, which is totally a mistake. But guys, this next mistake is way worse. This one is really, really bad.
No! Stop it! The restaurant! No!
So when all the incidentals start freaking out and eating the Krusty Krab, I want you to watch this in slow motion from the outside, because the animators were really lazy with all of these incidentals. For one, they have no pupils. They have like literal just blank white eyes. Same thing with their mouth, and multiple of them are duplicated. Like, look at how many times the one with a blue shirt and a cowboy hat is shown. The main thing here is just they were very lazily drawn for this one section, and I get it, it's a quick section where they just eat the Krusty Krab, but yeah, there should have been some more effort put into these incidentals. This isn't season 1, it's season 13.
It's my ex-boyfriend, Octavius Rex, aka Long, Dan, and Handsome.
Meep.
Up next, we have more old school SpongeBob goodness. We're talking about old school episodes today, a lot of them. There's still some modern episodes, but I'm trying to do a lot of old school SpongeBob. The episode is The Chaperone, and this one's all about SpongeBob being forced by Mr. Krabs to take his whiny daughter Pearl to prom. Just, it's funny, Pearl doesn't really want to go with SpongeBob. She has a crush on this dude right here, this anchovy, this pizza topping over here. This is a really good episode, but I hate to do it. We gotta break down the mistakes. Here's the first one. So this first one's kinda light, but the Krabby Patties that we see at the beginning of the episode initially contain meat patties. As you can see here, they look delicious, but all of these Krabby Patties have meat on them, and we can see the meat patty. But as the scene progresses and the table is suddenly cleared of customers refusing to go to prom with Pearl, now the sandwiches only have lettuce on them. So I'm doing a side-by-side, and I don't think all these customers ran away and took a meat patty. So this was definitely a little bit of a mistake here. At first, the Krabby Patties had meat on them, and then they forgot to draw the meat. I don't know. Really weird mistake, and here's mistake number 2 from this episode.
Hello?
Okay, I will admit I've covered this mistake before, so longtime viewers, I'm sorry, but it's this bad of a mistake that I need to mention it again for all of the new people. But in the scene where SpongeBob is coming to Mr. Krabs and Pearl's house, we can hear sounds of him struggling to walk, all right? We can hear it like he's walking towards the door and he's struggling to do so. That's what the sounds are supposed to suggest. But if you look closely, we can actually see his legs through the window, and they don't move the entire time. So we hear this sound as if they're moving, but we can see the legs right here and they don't move. I'm gonna play the clip again really quickly.
Hello?
Yeah, really funny. His legs do not move once, even though it sounds like they do. Okay, one more mistake from this episode. One more.
They love us! Hey! We're popular!
This one happens later on in the episode, but during the Doing the Sponge song, this friend of Pearl's right here is seen sitting on the floor with her arm in a cast. All right, remember this, her arm's in a cast. She's right here. But the problem is once the song ends, she literally picks up Pearl and SpongeBob and throws them out with both of her arms, which one would not really be possible because her one arm is clearly broken or something, but 2, the cast on her arm is missing. Like, she literally had this cast on moments before, as you can see here. I'm showing the shot again, but then she just magically gets healed, which, you know, is some cartoon logic. All right, guys, I'm realistic here. This is a kid's cartoon, and this is typical cartoon logic, but it's still kind of a weird choice and still technically a mistake. And we've got plenty more mistakes coming up in more episodes. Let's keep it rolling, rolling, rolling.
He's shredded. Go!
Next up is the episode Le Big Switch, and I'm gonna make this one quick as there's only one mistake in here that's actually really bad. You need to pay close attention though, okay? So roll the footage.
Those aren't burglars, Pearl. Those are just friendly repo men.
Mr. Krabs, tell these guys to let go of me!
Did you guys catch that? So, when Squidward is being carried out of the Krusty Krab, we can see this fish right here on the right, alright? And what we really want to pay attention to is his eyes. Now, at first, they're closed, as you can see, but the mistake here is that when he blinks, they open in the opposite of what normal eyes do. Normal eyes open up and down, but like, look at this dude's eyes. I'm zooming in a little bit. I'm gonna focus in on him, and we're gonna slow the footage down, and just, yeah, there is definitely some weird mistake here with how he blinks, because that's not right, man.
Get off him, Patrick!
What are you worried about? He looks better already.
But he still feels cold.
Next up, we have a bit of a spooky episode, Squidward the Unfriendly Ghost, which I guess isn't really that spooky. Him becoming a ghost is very funny though, and it makes for a really good episode. Like, imagine hating somebody so much that you pretend that you like died so you don't have to deal with them anymore. Anyways though, here's the first mistake from this episode. It's a doozy. Don't ever let me say that word again. Don't ever let me say doozy again. And yeah, let's roll the clip.
SpongeBob, cut that out!
Oh, look, the mourners have arrived.
Oh, Squidward, we all came as soon as we were sure you were dead.
This is another one where we have to take a look at Sandy's design real quick, and we'll notice that the Sandy lady herself always has this zipper. It's a part of her suit, right? It like zips up and down to get in her suit. Well, in the scene where Sandy's amongst the mourners, if you look, Sandy's zipper is just missing. They just didn't draw it. I can kind of get why due to the scene, but it's still super lazy that they didn't just draw her zipper. It's like a part of her design. I'll definitely forgive it though, because this next mistake from Squidward the Unfriendly Ghost is like way worse. So yeah, let's roll that clip right now.
Napping on the job? You're supposed to be making music for me as punishment for this insolence.
So, in the scene where Squidward is scolding SpongeBob for napping on the job, which, to be fair, SpongeBob, you should not be napping at work, Squidward's normally turquoise neck randomly turns white for a couple of frames. This one is a lot more subtle, but I mean, come on, that's not how his neck is supposed to be. And you can actually still see a little bit of turquoise in there. It's most likely because he's wearing this like white robe, but yeah, he's not that light. You can even see the color difference between his face and his neck, so a bit of a mistake here. I'll give him a pass. This one ain't that bad, but here's mistake number 3. This one's pretty rough. This one's hilarious. Alright, so a big part of this episode is SpongeBob and Patrick kind of acting like servants for Squidward's ghost, and a big part of this is them carrying him around on this like throne, alright? This throne right here. Now, I want us to take a look at this throne. You'll notice that it has kind of like a headboard or a backboard to it, a part of the frame right here. I'm putting an arrow on it. Remember this part of the royal bed or throne or whatever this is. I guess it's more of a royal bed. It looks really comfy, but remember, as when the scene fades into nighttime after SpongeBob fails to play music on the tissue, that backboard of Squidward's royal bed has just magically disappeared. It's just gone, and it looks kind of weird now. How this mistake happened, I don't know. Like, at first they drew the bed with a backboard, and then they decided to like not have it there anymore. Regardless though, it's a mistake, and it's a very funny mistake. Like, you know this is funny. Not as funny as some of the other mistakes coming up though, guys, so stay tuned. I'm saving the craziest mistakes for last. I'm gonna make this next one quick, as there's only one mistake in this episode, which is a good thing, I guess. The episode is Squid Bob Tentacle Pants, and in this episode, SpongeBob and Squidward are like morphed together. I'm gonna play the mistake, but look at this clip of them being morphed together real quick. It's really funny.
Hi, Sandy.
Yeah, I'm sure SpongeBob is the last person that Squidward would ever want to be morphed with. But anyways, let's get to the one mistake in this episode, as it's spicy. Did you guys catch it? Well, in the part where Incidental 41 is this character right here, by the way. When we see him hold his barf, disgusting, this incidental character over here, Sandals, his eyes are just not attached to his body. Like, what is going on here? They look like they're about to fall off of him. This is totally a mistake. I don't know why they drew it like this. It is a crowd shot, to be fair, but yikes. This is nothing compared to what's coming up though, guys. Let's head over to another episode with some unbelievable mistakes. Let's keep it moving.
With a card, any card.
Our next episode is from Modern SpongeBob, season 12 to be exact, and it's One Trick Sponge. This episode's all right. It's pretty much about SpongeBob learning a new magic trick. Not the best episode in my opinion, so let's move right into the good stuff. Well, the not so good stuff, that being the mistakes. This episode has one. Let's see if you guys can spot it.
Ah! Hi, Fred.
Now listen, this one is pretty complicated, so I need you guys to pay close attention, alright? So, when SpongeBob goes to Fred's house right here, Fred is the dude who's always like, my leg!
My leg? My leg! My leg! My leg! My leg! My
Yeah, that guy. When SpongeBob goes to his house, the direction he moves would mean that Fred's house is opposite from Mr. Krabs and Pearl's house, as you can see right here. Remember this, based on this shot, it would mean that Fred's house is like opposite to Mr. Krabs. You gotta remember this. However, in a later shot, Mr. Krabs' house is nowhere to be seen and is replaced with a kelp forest. So I don't know what happened here. The animators at first drew it as if Fred's house is right across from Mr. Krabs, but then they forgot and were lazy and then just drew a kelp forest instead. Not that big of a deal because it's a cartoon, but this is still a weird mistake. Some continuity errors, but let's keep it moving and head over to our next episode. This one is crazy, guys. Stay tuned.
Fiji concert. Remember this, Squidward?
Next up is the episode Friendiversary, which has a ton of mistakes in it. Let's see if you guys can catch them.
All here in my Squidward memory book.
What?
Here's us at camp. Here's when I moved in right next door.
So this first one is a good old-fashioned animation error where you can see it's a blatant mistake with the animation. I don't know what exactly happened here, but when SpongeBob shows his memory book to Squidward, Squidward's neck is tweaking because it's completely disconnected from his body. To be fair, it's only for a few seconds, but I mean, just like, I'm zooming in on this. Look at that, man. How did that even happen? Yeah, poor Squidward, man. His neck is just, is not how it's supposed to be, but let's keep it moving. There's more mistakes in this episode. Here's mistake number 2. So this one is really bad, and honestly, it's one of the worst mistakes I've seen in season 13. So as you can see here, this is how the interior of Squidward's house looks, okay? He has like green wallpaper on his walls, and his floor is pink. We've seen it in so many episodes. Just take a look at this shot from Slimy Dancing. Well, I don't know what the animators were up to in this episode, because take a look at this shot from Friendiversary, as when SpongeBob's going into his house's interior is Squidward's house. It's funny because Squidward's door is open in this shot too, and you can literally see his interior, and it's like they just copied and pasted it to SpongeBob's. This is how SpongeBob's interior is supposed to look. You can even just see it from the Wikipedia page. But in this episode, they were feeling extremely lazy and just gave SpongeBob the wrong inside to his house. Like, I'm honestly flabbergasted about this one. I don't even use that word often, guys, flabbergasted, but your boy is flabbergasted. And believe it or not, that ain't even it. This episode has more mistakes. Here's the third one. Damn, 3 mistakes in one episode? You'd think the animators would know about the mistakes, but anyways, this one isn't as bad. But normally, as you can see in this shot, Patrick's house has a path, okay? A nice little path. But in Friendiversary, the path to Patrick's house appears and disappears multiple times throughout the episode. It's really weird. In this shot, it's here, and this shot, it's not there. So I don't know what was going on with this one, but the animators made a lot of mistakes, guys. Like, damn. But let's keep it moving and head over to another episode.
The Suds?
Here's that patty you wanted, Mr. Krabs, sir.
Next up, we have the episode Suds, which is all about SpongeBob getting a little too sick. Like, he gets really sick and still goes into work. I can relate with him. I've done that many times before. Overall, a really, really good episode that, of course, has a couple of mistakes. That's what we're going to be talking about. Here's the first mistake from Suds. Okay, so we're gonna fast forward to the ending of the episode for this mistake, but before SpongeBob's sneeze destroys the Krusty Krab, as you guys just saw, the 5 maritime flags normally on the front of the Krusty Krab are just missing randomly. Like normally if we look at the Krusty Krab, there's these flags across it, right? They're always there, but in this one shot before SpongeBob destroys the Krusty Krab, they just did not draw the flags. I'm showing a side-by-side, really weird decision here. Fortunately though, after he sneezes, the flags mysteriously reappear among the wreckage of the destroyed restaurant, but I have no idea where they were before in this one shot. Really weird choice and definitely a mistake. And we've got more. Here's another one from Suds. This is another really weird one. So let's take a look at SpongeBob's house. All right, if we look at his house, you'll notice there's this path, and on the path, there's always these like green steps leading to the front entrance of his house. We can see this in the first ever episode here, and if we go to any other episode, here's a random shot from a modern episode of SpongeBob, the green steps are still there. However though, in Suds, during a shot of SpongeBob's house at night in the clips you guys just saw before it becomes frozen in the next morning, those green steps on the path to the front entrance are just missing. They're just not there, which is a really weird mistake. Fortunately, when SpongeBob's house is frozen in the next morning, the green steps are back. But like, dude, what's going on here? How do you guys just not draw them? Really weird choice and just, yeah, a really strange mistake. We've got one more from this episode. It's kind of funny as it's very similar to the mistake we just covered. I'm gonna make this one quick, but normally, if we look at Squidward's house, all right, there's this wooden plank doorstep right here. I'm circling and arrowing it right at the door of his house, normally. But in the opening establishing shot of Suds, the wooden plank doorstep is just missing for some reason. It's kind of funny that that happened and the green steps on SpongeBob's path were also missing. Really weird mistake. The episode is going to be Hello Bikini Bottom, and I personally really love this episode. I'm a musician myself, and it's all about SpongeBob and Squidward like starting a band together that actually goes on to be really successful. So before we get into the mistakes of this episode, look at some of these awesome clips from this episode. It's a really good one, and don't worry, we'll cover the mistakes in a sec.
That doesn't look like Ned and the Needlefish.
Chase him off, stay!
See, it's a good episode. SpongeBob and Squidward make for a really good duo. The animators for this episode, though, I don't know, man, because there's some mistakes. Here's the first one. This one's a little inappropriate. I don't know how Nickelodeon let it slide in a kid show, but this is Incidental 46 right here. It is a female character. And as you guys seen in the clips, when Incidental 46 plays a loaf of bread like an accordion, they forgot to draw her bikini top. So she just does not have a top on at all. Real classy Nickelodeon. Definitely a mistake, but you could have picked any other incidental to have this mistake for, so.
Aw, so cute. I just want to pinch his face. Look at this precious little sweetie.
Alright, so we're gonna jump over to season 13 for this next one. It's crazy that there are currently 14 seasons of SpongeBob. I remember when I was like 5 watching season 1 in my living room. Anyways though, season 13, the episode is Say Awww, and this episode's a little hit or miss for me. It has some good moments, but it also has a mistake, and it's actually a really funny one. Roll the footage and here's a hint. I'm showing a PNG of him on screen. You guys want to focus on Incidental 6 right here. More specifically, his feet. Alright, I'm gonna play the clip with the mistake, and guys, let's see if you can spot it and comment it before I reveal it.
All right, you brain-dead barnacles, drop those patties.
So cute.
I know you guys caught it. If you didn't though, don't worry, Cartoon Corey always has you covered. So, near the beginning of the episode, if we take a look at Incidental 6 right here, we can see that he's not wearing any shoes. He's just walking around in his bare feet. I hope the dude doesn't step on a Lego or something. That would really hurt. I mean, we all know what happened to Mr. Krabs when he stubbed his foot.
From top to bottom, my foot, what? Genius, what a rocket of path! Can't you see I got a foot?
Yeah, incidental 6, you should go put some shoes on because you're barefoot here as everybody can see. Remember this as it's important. As if we watch this same scene as it progresses, look, incidental 6 randomly gets a pair of shoes. I'm showing a side-by-side and I want to remind you this all happens in a matter of seconds, so like dude didn't go home and put shoes on. The animators drew him without shoes and then forgot and drew him again with shoes. All in the same scene, so yeah, pretty funny. Not as funny as this next episode's set of mistakes though. Let's keep it rolling. We're back to the classics with this next one, and I know it just passed, but the episode is Valentine's Day from season 1. And I mean the episode's from season 1, so it's kind of just automatically a banger. I love this episode. Let's expose some mistakes though. There are 3 in this one episode, wow. And here's the first one. Roll that clip.
Well, I'm Bubbles for you, Sandy.
Chocolate.
So this first one's pretty straightforward. As you guys know, in Bikini Bottom, all right, Sandy wears her suit with the helmet on it so that she doesn't die. She can't breathe in water like fish because she's a squirrel and needs air. So the whole point of this helmet right here is to stop water from going in and drowning her. Well, the animators forgot about this for a second, as when Sandy opens her helmet to receive the chocolate bubble, in the clips you guys just saw, no water goes inside her helmet, even though they're literally underwater. So again, I'm being a nerd, this isn't that big of a deal, but still kind of technically a mistake. Like, Sandy should have died. I hate to say it, but like, rip. Anyways though, here's mistake number 2 from Valentine's Day. This one's a lot more interesting. Roll that footage.
Mine! All right, everybody out! Because it's on top of Mount Climb Up and Fall Off!
Did you guys catch it? Well, this one's kinda tricky, so don't worry, let me explain. A majority of this episode takes place at the Valentine's Day Carnival, like a big carnival that takes place at Goo Lagoon. Now, at one point of the episode, when we see this sign right here, we can see that climb up and fall off can be seen by the Valentine's Day Carnival sign right here. It happens more specifically when Patrick mentions it. However, if we rewind a little bit back to when we first see the Valentine's Day Carnival sign right here in this shot, Mount Climb Up and Fall Off is just not visible, it's not there, which is a mistake because, as I already mentioned, later on in the episode when Patrick mentions it, we can see the Valentine's Day Carnival sign, but Mount Climb Up and Fall Off is right there. So yeah, a little bit of a continuity error here. And wait, there's more! There's another mistake in this episode, guys. Here's mistake number 3 from Valentine's Day. Roll the footage, please.
SpongeBob, we got ourselves a little problem. Sandy to SpongeBob. I got my ox in a ditch here.
My Valentine!
Man, 3 mistakes in one episode, that's wild. Hopefully you guys caught it though, and if not, you guys know the drill, I'm gonna expose it. It happens during this scene when Sandy is fighting the chocolate-eating scallops. There are some crazy creatures in Bikini Bottom. Anyways though, in this scene, the balloon's basket seems to be missing, only showing the string attached to it. This is how the balloon normally looks with the basket right here. But yeah, when Sandy's fighting them, it's missing, and we can only see this string right here. Don't worry, the basket does reappear eventually when Sandy arrives at the carnival. But yeah, during that one shot, it's just gone. Yeah, gone. Just like the animators who animated this next episode of SpongeBob that we're gonna head over to, because it also has a bunch of mistakes. What a crazy segue, huh? Anyways, let's keep it moving and head over to another episode.
Patrick, you're fired.
But I don't even work here.
Would you like a job starting now?
Boy, would I.
You're fired.
I've got another classic episode for you guys, that Steven Hillenburg era of SpongeBob. The episode is Arrgh, and I feel like this episode is actually one of the more underrated pre-season 4 episodes, where it's a good episode, but people don't talk about it nearly as much as other episodes like Pizza Delivery, for example. Nonetheless, this episode is a banger. Of course, though, it's got a mistake, and you know it's coming up. Here's the first mistake.
My turn. 5. One of your shipmates has been a bad pirate. You, Mr. Krabs!
So as you guys just saw in the clips, Patrick rolls a 5, resulting in him sending Mr. Krabs to the brig. Remember that, alright? He rolls a 5. However, when we get a close-up look, it shows that the dice only rolled a 2. So they made a little mistake here. Patrick rolls a 5, but when we see that exact same roll again and see the card, he only rolled a 2. Very easy to miss when you're 5 years old, but yeah, I caught it this time. And here's another one from the same episode.
Huh? Who's there?
Come on, SpongeBob. One more game. I can smell the treasure.
This next one is really funny and it's very easy to miss. But as you guys know, Mr. Krabs becomes obsessed with this treasure hunting game. And at one point, Mr. Krabs breaks into SpongeBob's house and SpongeBob comes downstairs to see Mr. Krabs sitting, waiting to play the game with him. And if you guys look closely in this one frame right here, it looks as if Mr. Krabs is floating behind the chair rather than sitting on it. I'm zooming in right here and yeah, it looks like dude is just floating on behind the chair and he's not sitting on it, so totally a mistake here. And a weird one, guys. But stay tuned though, because there's even weirder ones coming up, believe it or not. Let's keep it rolling, gang.
Give him the old mouth test, Mr. Squidward.
These pancakes taste like a Krabby Patty.
This next one is from season 14. The episode is Necro Nom 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 Icon, which we've covered before, but I found a new mistake in this episode that I didn't cover last time. So we're gonna make it quick. Let's dive right into it. Let's see if you guys can catch this mistake without my help. So comment it if you find it before I reveal it. All right, roll that clip.
No! Squidward is not part of a balanced breakfast!
This is incredibly easy to miss, but when SpongeBob says Squidward is not a part of a balanced breakfast, I disagree, SpongeBob. His mouth line overlaps with his nose for one frame, which is minor, but I mean, look at this. This is totally a mistake. It's bound to happen in 2D animation, but you'd think it wouldn't happen in 2024. But like I said, I'd keep it quick, and let's head over to another episode with much more interesting mistakes. Like, the mistakes coming up are way better than this one.
Get out! No! You're going out this door right now!
We're not mad at us, are you, Squidward? Squidward?
Next up, we have the season 5 episode, Breath of Fresh Squidward. I love episodes that are more focused on Squidward. He deserves more representation. Here's a question, guys. We know that Patrick got his own spin-off. We know that Sandy's getting her own spin-off. Plankton's also getting one. So if Squidward were to get his own spin-off show or movie, what would you make it about? What would the story be about? Let me know in the comments, but for now, let's expose the mistakes in this episode. It's what you guys clicked on the video for. Here's the first one.
And you, Mr. Smiley Face Krabby Patty, no one can come between us.
What is the meaning of this?
What's wrong with it?
A smiley face?
So I have no idea how I caught this mistake, and again, I'm going back to it, I'm a total nerd for finding it. But in the clips you guys just saw, SpongeBob draws that smiley face with mustard, okay? He draws the whole thing with mustard, he only uses mustard as you can see here. But moments later, when Mr. Krabs eventually shows SpongeBob the exact same smiley face that he drew on the Krabby Patty, the mouth of the smiley face is drawn with ketchup, which is a mistake, as when we seen SpongeBob draw it, like we literally seen him do it, he uses mustard. No ketchup is used at all. So I'm a nerd, but I got you, Nickelodeon. Get wrecked. I got you. It's a mistake. And here's another one from the same episode. Let's keep it rolling. Here's another one.
Can I tell it this time, Squidward? Pretty please. Whenever Squidward sees us, the storm clouds in his brain roll in and a nasty storm rages.
Now, this one is much, much, much worse, and this one's like really bad. So, when SpongeBob starts to explain how Squidward's brain works, it's very easy to miss because it's at the very bottom of the frame. But it seems that SpongeBob's pants are missing. Like, I'm zooming in here, and like I said, you can only see a brief little bit of it, but yeah, that boy ain't wearing any pants. And I don't know how I feel about that. SpongeBob's gonna get us demonetized over here. Anyways, do you guys know what time it is? It's time for the random mistake of the day, where we take a really quick break from SpongeBob to talk about mistakes in another cartoon, a random cartoon suggested by you guys. And then we're going right back to SpongeBob, so don't worry. What should we do for today? How about the Simpsons? Leave a comment down below on what other cartoons you want me to do for the random mistake of the day, but we'll do the Simpsons for today, and don't worry, we're going right back to SpongeBob after. The episode in question is Bart Gets an F, and here's some context for you guys. It's about this character right here. His name is Moe. Your parents definitely know who this character is. He's a very iconic cartoon character, and it has to do with his eyes, all right? So pay close attention, and here's the clip.
I hereby declare this day to be Snow Day.
Did you guys catch it? Yeah, well, during the snow day and this shot right here where they're all outside, we get this back side view of Moe, and look, his eye is missing for a shot. It may seem like you can see his pupil, but that's actually the back of the black hair of the dude in the blue jacket that's in front of him. If we zoom in here, you can see they just did not draw his eye, and that entire circle is just see-through. What a mistake. We're gonna go back to the beginning for this one. We're gonna go back to season 1. The The episode is Karate Choppers, and this episode's interesting. Pretty much SpongeBob becomes like addicted to karate to the point where it has like an effect on his jaw. My dude is obsessed, but guys, I'm also obsessed with exposing SpongeBob mistakes. I mean, I'm like a total nerd. So yeah, here's the first mistake from Karate Choppers. Roll that footage.
I'm gonna get you tomorrow, SpongeBob.
That'll be the day.
Now, if we look at the arms of the suit that Sandy wears right here, we'll notice that there's these lines on it, all right? There's a red one, a blue one, and another red one. 3 lines in total. This is how her design always looks, even back in like season 1. But in this one season 1 episode, Karate Choppers, when Sandy is at SpongeBob's door in this scene right here, look, she randomly has this extra stripe on her sleeve. To make things even worse though, if we watch closely, the colors of these stripes also just change rapidly. Like I'm showing it in slow motion, and yeah, I'm kind of nitpicking, but still technically a mistake. This next mistake from Karate Choppers is much, much worse though. Roll the footage.
Nice try, Sponge Brain.
Okay, so like I said, mistake number 2 is much worse than that last one. And it takes place when Sandy hangs up on SpongeBob after his attempt at phone karate. Interesting, SpongeBob. It happens really quickly, but look, SpongeBob's arm disappears. Like this dude loses his whole arm, and I don't think that's very healthy, SpongeBob. You can definitely blame the animators for that one though, buddy. They did you dirty. But guys, we got another mistake from this episode, 3 in 1 episode, damn. Let's see if you guys can spot this one before I expose it. Try to comment the mistake before I reveal it. Got it? All right, let's go. Roll that footage. This third one is insanely easy to miss, but a common thing in SpongeBob are these bubble transitions. Here's an example. They happen all the time to change scenes. And in this episode, when we transition over to this shot of the Krusty Krab with people entering it, some of the bubbles from the transition just freeze mid-air and glitch out and stay on screen. They're right here, and you can even see the tops and sides getting cut off a little bit. So yeah, totally a mistake. Like what? Stay tuned though, because this is just the beginning, guys. I'm saving some of the crazy mistakes for last. There are a ton of places that you can store your money, right? In a bank, in a piggy bank, your wallet, but Mr. Krabs over here for some reason decides to store his money, all of his money, in his mattress. And this is what the episode The Lost Mattress is all about, with SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward getting rid of Mr. Krabs' mattress and just causing a bunch of problems. We're not here for all of that though. Let's be real, we're here to expose some mistakes. So yeah, here's the first mistake from this episode. Let's see if you guys can catch it.
It's killing me. It's me old lumpy mattress. It's like trying to sleep on broken coral.
Why do anything? I like the new Mr. Krabs. He yells at...
Okay, so this one's very, very sneaky, but when Mr. Krabs opens the Krusty Krab, if we look really closely, I'm zooming in, all right? If we look closely right here, there is a keyhole on the door handle. Now, the problem is that in the very next scene, like seconds later, that keyhole just disappears. I'm showing a side-by-side right now, and yeah, like what? The animators drew it with a keyhole, and then they just switched up, bro. They just changed their mind. They're like, nah, no keyhole, which is totally a mistake. And here's mistake number 2. You guys should be able to catch this one. It's somewhat of a common mistake in SpongeBob. Let's see if you guys can catch it before I reveal it. Try to comment the mistake before I actually break it down, all right? Roll that footage. Take a look at this.
What are you morons doing?
Making a card for Mr. Krabs to go with his new mattress.
Okay, so I want you guys to take a look at literally any shot of the Krusty Krab, more specifically the inside, and you'll notice that this right here, it's the galley grub menu. It has all of the items for sale and prices. It's always right here, somewhat behind or aside from Squidward's cashier workstation that he hates so much. But randomly, like randomly, dude, in the Lost Mattress, when SpongeBob and Patrick are making the card for Mr. Krabs, look, the galley grub sign is like all the way over here for some reason. It's like in front of the boat, which looks incredibly weird. This has never happened before and has never happened again, and guys, it's totally a mistake. Kind of a weird one too, but yeah, let's head over to another episode, guys. The mistakes are only gonna get spicier as we go. Like, trust me, we've got some mind-blowing mistakes coming up, so let's keep it moving, let's keep it rolling.
With my abode, I would like to paint the chum bucket to please my wife, but alas, I am too small and feeble.
Next up, we have an episode that I haven't talked about a whole bunch throughout my time doing these SpongeBob mistakes, and I've covered like well over like 500 SpongeBob mistakes at this point. The episode is Bucket Sweet Bucket, and it's probably because this episode just doesn't have a whole bunch of mistakes. There's only 2, and here's the first one. Okay, for this one to really hit, let's take a look at like any shot of the Krusty Krab, alright? We can see it right here. And a big part of its design, at least from the outside, is this yellow enter sign right here. That's right by the doors, pretty much. It's always been there ever since SpongeBob Season 1, as you can see here. But in the scene where SpongeBob and Patrick leave with the front piece of the Krusty Krab, like stealing it, look, that enter sign should be right here, but it's just missing. They were too lazy to draw it. Talk about a mistake, and here's another one.
He knows I'll actually want to see.
You wanted to see out the window?
I give you one simple...
Okay, so listen closely, guys, because this one is just, it's kind of technical, all right? So, when Plankton and SpongeBob walk over to the window that Patrick made, we can see that it has 8 bolts on it, all right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right here, I arrowed all of them. However, after Plankton notices that the window is closed, and we see it again, what in the world happened? Because it no longer has 8 bolts, and now has 6 of them. The amount of bolts wouldn't randomly change in between scenes, and to make things worse, after Plankton bites off one of the bolts, there are 8 of them again. So just what a messy scene. What a weird mistake. Crazy, dude. Let's head over to another episode though, guys. Things are about to get wild.
Hope he's had his shots.
Oh, of course.
All of his shots.
Affirmatory.
For rabies,
Yep.
snailpox, and soft shell dance.
Yep.
Next up, we have the episode Once Bitten, which is all about everybody thinking that Gary, like, turns people into zombies if he bites them. It's an interesting episode. I actually really like this episode, just saying. As a matter of fact, here are some crazy clips from this episode, and then we'll get right into the mistakes.
And finally, the bite from that infected snail will turn you into a zombie.
Here to dine on your squishy yellow flesh.
All right. I know what you guys clicked on the video for, mistakes, but like I said, Once Bitten's actually a pretty cool episode. Anyways, though, here's mistake number 1. Let's see if you guys can spot it. Yeah, that first one is very straightforward. I'm sure a lot of you guys caught it, but when SpongeBob runs to the bus, we can see this stop sign right here, all right? And remember the area, remember the location, because in the very next scene, that stop sign, which should be right here, has completely disappeared. Now, this is most likely a case of cartoon logic, but still technically a mistake, and here's mistake number 2 from Once Bitten. Now, this one is really bad. Be prepared, guys, and here's a hint. It has to do with the bottom half of SpongeBob, all right? Pay attention, try to reveal the mistake in the comments before I actually reveal it. I know you guys can do it. Roll that mistake.
Gary, how could you?
Like I said, it's really, really bad. But when SpongeBob says, Gary, how could you? Look, he's missing his legs. Like, they just didn't draw his legs. It's like, to be fair, it's only the bottom of the frame where you can see that his legs are missing. Like, we have to pull the footage up and zoom in, and you can see right here, this space, his legs should be there. So they made a massive mistake. Like, how do you draw SpongeBob without his legs? Crazy, dude.
Vibrating bed.
Out of my way! Grandpat's gonna take this puppy for a test nap.
Next up, we have a very new episode. It's Star Cruise, and I'll admit I'm kind of cheating, guys. This is the Patrick Star Show episode, but I mean, come on. It's SpongeBob, Patrick Star Show, it's all the same stuff. Well, actually, like, regular SpongeBob is way better, but anyways, the episode is Star Cruise, and here's the mistake.
Or the ship. Meet up for dinner? Yeah! Sweet dreams, Grandpa! Enjoy your cruisy snooze.
Okay, so let's take a look at Bunny over here. This is Patrick's mother, for those who do not know. And you'll notice a big part of her design is this lipstick right here that she always wears. You can see it right here. Remember this, as in Star Cruise, when Bunny leaves the engine room in this scene right here, look. It's not a huge deal, but the animators completely forgot to draw her lipstick. And what's funny is, like, after this scene, look, her lipstick is back. And before this scene, she was wearing lipstick. So even when we see her in the engine room, she's wearing lipstick. So just, yeah, a mistake. This one is nothing compared to the next set of mistakes we'll be covering in this next episode, though. Let's head over there.
What about Mr. Krabs' case?
Looks like you're gonna have to handle this one, son. Everything you need to win is in this here case.
Mr. Krabs and Plankton have been beefing for years. Like, these dudes have a long history of beef, stemming all the way back to the first season of SpongeBob. And you know, I can't really blame Plankton. Like, Mr. Krabs is kind of mean to him. Plankton just wants to be successful as well. But we ain't here for character analysis. We're here to break down some goofy mistakes. So let's do that. Here's the first one.
If you give me the formula.
Never, you little whelp! What? No! I didn't lay.
Okay, so this character right here is Fred. He's the dude who always yells, "My leg!" And throughout this whole episode, Mr. Krabs versus Plankton, he's brown, all right? We can see him right here, he's brown. We can fast forward a little bit to a later scene, he's brown again. And here's even one more shot where we can see Fred is brown, okay? But if we pay close attention when Mr. Krabs yells, "Never, you little runt." Jeez, Mr. Krabs, chill, dude. Look, Fred is randomly blue, and he has the same eye scale as Tom. The real issue here, though, is the color. The dude was brown in like every other scene. I highly doubt he went and got like fish plastic surgery and turned himself blue. What most likely happened is the animators drew him as brown and colored him as brown, and then for this one scene they kind of messed up and forgot and drew him as blue. I'll forgive them, but still totally a mistake. And here's another one from the same episode.
Never, you little whelp! What? No! I didn't lay a claw on him!
Speaking of the color blue, this is a big part of this next mistake as well, as when Plankton first enters the courtroom in the clips you guys just saw, we can see that this fish right here on the right of the door is blue. Remember this, alright? He's blue, just like Fred in that last scene. Here's the problem though, as the episode progresses, this changes, as look, when we see the jury again in this scene, that exact same fish is randomly orange now. Here's like a side-by-side, he was blue before, now he's orange. But hey, don't worry, when we see the jury for the third time, look, she's blue again. So he or she, they're blue again. What a messy scene. Like, all the mistakes in this episode are all coloring based, which is really funny. It's crazy how many different types of mistakes there are in SpongeBob. We're back to SpongeBob, and the episode is Chums from season 13. A really good episode in my opinion that's all about Plankton going down to the sewers and meeting, you know, a bunch of chum that want to work with him. The plot itself is kind of weird, but the episode's pretty good. But you know what we're here for? We're here for mistakes, and here it is, guys. Here it is. Let's see if you guys can catch it before I come back and like reveal it, all right? So we're gonna play the clip, try to comment the mistake before I break it down, and then I'll break it down, all right? Roll that footage.
F is for friends who do stop together. U is for you and me.
Did you guys catch it? It happens really, really fast, and it's somewhat of a common mistake in SpongeBob. But while SpongeBob is spraying the Krusty Krab in the beginning of the episode in the clips you guys just saw, look, for about one frame, his right eye turns yellow. It does go back to normal, but like, SpongeBob, you gotta go see a doctor about that eye, dude. You're gonna need some eye drops. But yeah, totally a mistake.
SpongeBob, why are you so small?
I didn't mean to get small like you, Plankton. It was a freak accident.
Who are you calling a freak?
Next up, we have a very rough episode. It's The Incredible Shrinking Sponge, which, you know, the plot of the episode is cool. SpongeBob is shrunken down and like has to do a bunch of stuff, but the episode itself is pretty weak. It does, of course, have some mistakes, and the one mistake we're going to be covering is actually pretty whack. Let's see if you guys can spot it. Here's a hint. It has to do with the galley grub menu. All right, roll the footage. Alright, so let's go back to season 1 for a second and take a look at the Galley Grub menu, more specifically how Patty in Krabby Patty is spelt. It's always spelt as P-A-T-T-Y, but one common mistake that's happened in a few episodes throughout SpongeBob's entire runtime, like the history of the show, is that sometimes Patty in Krabby Patty will be misspelt on the menu, and in this episode, the incredible shrinking sponge, this happens right here. Look, Patty is weirdly spelt as P-A-T-T-I-E, which, yeah, is a massive mistake. Like, that's not how it's spelt at all. Okay, that one was kinda weak. It's still a mistake, so let's head over to another episode that actually has a good mistake in it. This one's really gonna shock you guys.
It reminds me of my mother's cooking when I was but a boy. I'm filled with childish glee.
Alright, it's time for those season 14 episodes I was talking about. The first one is Mamageddon, and this episode is hilarious. Season 14's been pretty solid so far, and this is one of the best episodes so far, in my opinion. Squidward was also a good one, but yeah, Mamageddon, really good episode. But of course, even a good episode like this one has a mistake. There's actually two, and they're pretty spicy. Here's the first one.
I demand a refund!
Okay, that's enough. There'll be no refunds.
Where's the love? Where's the riches?
So this right here is Incidental 47. I'm showing a PNG of him, and what we really want to do here is remember his colors, alright? Let's even take a look at him in this episode, Mamageddon, and you'll see he's rocking his regular colors, alright? He looks like good old-fashioned Incidental 47. However, though, in the scene where Mr. Krabs tells the angry mob that there'll be no refunds, what a cheapskate. If you look, we can see Incidental 47 again, but there's something up with his colors. They've completely changed. They're actually completely swapped with another character. This is Incidental 186, and look at his colors, and then look at Incidental 47's colors in that one scene, and yeah, totally a mistake here. They got their colors like mixed up, and it's hilarious. And here's another one from Mamageddon. This one's actually like really bad.
Mom!
Mom!
Mom! Hey, Mom!
Yeah, this episode's so funny. I love how all of the moms come together. It just really cracks me up. But anyways, in the scene you guys just saw, when the moms put lids on the cups of lemonade, you'll notice that Betsy's hands are actually the same color as Mrs. Tentacles, which is like totally a mistake. Betsy Crab is a crab and she's red like Mr. Krabs, so her hands should be red and not like that turquoise, like greenish bluish color that Squidward and other squids are in SpongeBob. So yeah, massive mistake. I have no idea why her hands are that color. And guys, let's keep it moving and head over to another episode. The mistakes we've covered so far are nothing compared to the ones coming up. So yeah, stay tuned. Let's keep it moving.
You got big! SpongeBob, I fed Rolly, and he got big! Is he dying?
No, you silly.
Next up, we have another season 14 episode. This is a very new episode. I think it premiered on like Valentine's Day. Me saying that has already dated this video, but anyways, the episode is Pet the Rock, and this is also a pretty good episode from season 14. With Patrick over here, our favorite starfish, getting himself a new pet rock, which is pretty cool. Also, didn't this happen before? I swear back in the like season 2 or 3 episode where they race their snails, it's like the Great Snail Race that Patrick has a pet rock, so kind of a reference here. But we're not here for references, we're here for mistakes. And here's the first one. I will admit I'm kind of nitpicking when it comes to this one, but this picture right here shows Patrick and his family from the Patrick Star Show, but it's actually missing a ton of details. Let's start with Bunny over here, alright? Because the picture of the family from Pet the Rock is missing the patterns normally seen on Bunny's clothing. The same thing with Patrick. I'm doing a side-by-side of each character, and Patrick, it's the same thing. The patterns are missing, but also Grandpat over here is missing one of his teeth. So yeah, a bit of a messy scene, but not that big of a deal. I'm kind of nitpicking. It's meant to be like a zoomed out shot of the picture, so I'm definitely over analyzing it. So let's move on to another episode with some actual crazy mistakes.
I need to erase this from my mind. Stop.
Keeping on the topic of modern SpongeBob, the HD era of SpongeBob, our next episode is Drive Happy. And this one's an interesting one. It's all about SpongeBob being able to drive, but not because he got his license finally, but because he operates this self-driving car. Definitely give the episode a watch when you get a chance, but first, let's watch these mistakes. Let's expose them. Here's the first one.
I want to be inside.
All right, Coop, come on in.
So I want you to take a look at some of these shots of SpongeBob's house. And what we'll notice is that SpongeBob has a garage in the back of his house, all right? We've seen it in many episodes before. Here are some examples. But remember this, because it seems that the writer of this episode and the animators forgot about it. That or they've just never watched old school SpongeBob before. Yeah, I'm calling you out, Nickelodeon. Because at one point, SpongeBob saws a hole at the front of his house so that his car, Coop, the self-driving car, can enter and seek shelter. But this is a problem because SpongeBob literally already has a garage, so like, why would he do this? Like I said, the writer of this episode needs to go back and watch old school SpongeBob, because they do not know what they're talking about at all. And here's one more mistake from this episode.
Oh, hi, Mrs. Pops.
SpongeBob, you're not driving!
I know, isn't it great?
Now this one could be a case of cartoon logic, but it's still like kind of a weird choice, to be honest with you, because it does highlight what could be a mistake. As you guys seen in the clips that we just played, when SpongeBob's house eventually gets this driveway right here, look, Squidward's house is missing when it should be right here. Like, based on the angle of this shot, we should be able to see his house, but I guess the animators were feeling a little lazy and just didn't draw it. Again, this one's kind of cartoon logic, but it's still technically a mistake. Like, his house should be right there. Like, look at this shot of Conch Street right here. That's where his house is, right there. So it should be right here in this shot. But anyways, I'm rambling. Let's just keep the spiciness going and head over to another episode with more mistakes. Tons of mistakes coming up.
Now, what will we call this eating dinner and watching theater?
Dinner theater?
We'll call it Singy Eaty Time.
Let's talk about season 7 for a second, more specifically the episode The Play's the Thing, an episode all about Squidward putting on a play at the Krusty Krab. Now, of course, there's loads of mistakes we're going to be covering in this episode, and you don't want to miss them, but here are some clips from Squidward's play, as it's actually like really funny, and then we'll get right to the mistake.
An octopus was born.
I'd like a double Krabby meal with extra kelp.
Go away, shoo, go away. At the Krusty Krab, his talent was wasted.
Excuse me, can I get a refill?
No, you can't.
Okay, it's mistake time. That's what you guys are actually here for. We're gonna cover 2. Here's the first one, and try to comment it without me revealing it yet. Let's see if you guys can spot it without me showing you it right away, all right? Roll the footage.
Delivery for Mr. Squidward Tentacles. Hello?
You guys may have caught it, all right? But in the close-up shot of the mailman's letter, the mailman's sleeve is missing, despite the fact that when we see like the full shot of him, he has the sleeve. So in the close-up of the letter, he should also have his sleeve. That's a continuity error. And here's another one from this episode. Here's a hint. It has to do with SpongeBob's teeth. Roll the footage.
A stray wrapper in my kitchen? Oh, the trash is full. I had better call the garbage truck.
This is a very, very, very common mistake throughout SpongeBob, and I try to avoid it because I feel like it's kind of lame, but in this case, it's actually pretty bad. So, while SpongeBob faces towards the camera and begins acting like a garbage truck, look, for about a split second, his teeth turned yellow. You guys already know what I'm gonna say, but SpongeBob, go brush those teeth, boy. Also though, do you guys know what time it is? You guys know? Can you guys guess? It's time for the random mistake of the day, where we take a very quick break from SpongeBob to talk about a mistake from a random cartoon suggested by you guys. And then don't worry, we get right back to SpongeBob. But it's fun to explore other cartoons, and real quick guys, comment down below what cartoons you want me to cover in the random mistake of the day. For today, let's do Paw Patrol. We've done it in the past, but I want to do it again. The episode in question is Pups Save the Paw Patroller, and for context, it has to do with this character right here, Rocky. And here's a hint, it has to do with his eye color, alright? Roll the footage.
Let's try his jets.
Yeah, so it's at the very beginning of this episode, but when Rocky is seen working on this robo-dog, there is one shot of him with extremely red eyes. You can see it right here, those eyes are red. When in every other shot we've seen of Rocky in this episode, and just in general, here's a PNG of Rocky, his eyes are like a normal brown color. So when he's animated with red eyes here, it is totally a mistake. His eyes are supposed to be brown. And let's head back over to SpongeBob. Again though guys, do let me know in the comments other cartoons you want us to cover in the random mistake of the day today's segment, all right? Let me know, but let's keep it moving back to SpongeBob, baby. So I imagine some of you guys have pets, and here's a funny question for you guys. What if one day your pet could just start talking? Like your dog could just start talking to you. Or your cat. I'm kind of more of a dog guy, but your cat could be talking to you too. Well, this is exactly what happens in Chatterbox Gary, with Gary over here becoming quite the chatterbox. Now, of course, we're gonna get right into the mistakes, is what you guys are here for, but here's some hilarious clips from this episode of Gary talking, like some of the funny stuff he says, and then we're gonna get right into the mistakes.
Hello there, Papa Bob. I dream I'm flying above it all, while I breathe fiery destruction. They really bring out the sharp corners of your buttocks.
Yeah, I need to get one of these things right here for my dog, because Gary is cracking me up in this episode. Like, we need a whole spin-off series that's just based on Gary. But anyways, on to the mistakes. Here's the first one. Try to comment it before I reveal the mistake. I want to see if you guys can catch it before I tell you. All right, roll the footage.
Stupid rake!
So as you guys just saw in the clips we just played, Squidward climbs up into SpongeBob's house. And when this happens, we can see that there's this rake right here, all right, by SpongeBob's house. This rake's right here. Remember it. As eventually, when Squidward climbs down from SpongeBob's house, the rake has just magically disappeared. And considering the context of this, like, episode and this scene, while Squidward was sneaking up there, SpongeBob did not come out and put the rake away. The animators drew the rake at first and forgot to draw it the second time, which isn't a big deal because this is a kid's cartoon, so yeah, but still, it's a mistake. Like, get wrecked, Nickelodeon. It's a mistake. And here's another one.
In order to achieve complete brainfulness, one must clear one's mind of all distractions.
Early on in the episode, we get these scenes where Squidward is meditating, all right? And now normally, if we look at Squidward in any other episode, just a random PNG of him, he always has these wrinkles on his forehead. Even back in his first appearance of SpongeBob, he's had the wrinkles. They will disappear when he makes very specific facial expressions, but even that is rare. They very rarely disappear. And when they do, it's usually a mistake. Now, if you guys look while Squidward's meditating, look, his wrinkles on his head are gone. But there could be a reasoning for this. Now, I think it's a mistake, but it could be due to the fact that he's meditating. So he's relaxed, he's calm from meditating, which could result in like the forehead wrinkles maybe going away. I don't know. I definitely think it was a mistake though. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. For now though, let's head over to another episode and find more SpongeBob mistakes.
Tomatoes! What's the deal on those things? And what does that make ketchup?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Nice. Squirrel Jokes. I love this episode. I felt bad for Sandy in it because, you know, they're kind of mean to her, but overall, really good episode. And of course, it has a mistake. Let's see if you guys can spot it without my help, all right, guys? Before I reveal and explain the mistake, try and comment it to see if you guys spot it first. But all right, roll the footage.
It's the stupid squirrel!
Let's try and communicate with it.
Okay, so context. This character right here is Incidental 38B, and you'll notice that their lips are purple, all right? Their lips are always purple too. In any other episode, look at some of these shots, their lips are purple, remember. Well, in the scene you guys just saw, where Sandy's in the grocery store and these three fish just start roasting her, like they start going in on our girl. If we watch Incidental 38B closely, their lips actually flicker orange for about a frame, and then they go back to purple, but for that one frame, look at this, like what? My theory is if you look, this fish over here is orange and has orangish lips, so maybe they got confused and mixed it up. It's only for a frame, but it's still a mistake. And here's another one that you do not want to miss from Squirrel Jokes. Roll the footage.
Seriously, folks, I want to give a special thanks to my friend Sandy. Sandy, don't you see? The crowd loves these.
So this right here is my boy Incidental 11, and you'll notice that he has this fin right here, all right? I want you to remember how this fin looks. We even see him in this episode earlier on, and his fin looks the same, right? Well, during the scene you guys saw where the spotlight's put on Sandy after SpongeBob starts roasting her more, look, part of Incidental 11's fin is just missing. It looks incredibly awkward, especially when there are shots with their full fin intact. So weird mistake here. It's not very noticeable unless you're looking for it, but I mean, come on, that is a mistake. And here's another one.
Krabs? Oh, brother, they're so cheap, they can't even pay attention.
I feel bad for Mr. Krabs over here, but when SpongeBob talks about Krabs in his stand-up, Mr. Krabs over here is missing his legs. I can understand how this happened kind of, but also like considering the angle, they're kind of silly for this one. It's so blatant. Like I remember catching this as a kid. So yeah, no legs on Mr. Krabs. Hey, it happens sometimes. Let's head over to another episode, guys, and stay tuned because the mistakes are gonna get worse as we go. Like it is going to be crazy by the ending of the video. All right, let's head over to the next episode.
Oh boy, what fun.
You lose.
Did you see that, SpongeBob? I almost got that on my first try.
Season 4 Skill Crane is an interesting episode. The plot, I mean, is very interesting. The idea of them getting a skill crane in the Krusty Krab. Now I want to play one of these. These games are fun. I'll win all of you guys like a SpongeBob plushie, all right? Before that though, let's expose the mistakes in this episode. Here's the first one.
You know this guy?
Yeah, that's Squidward.
Yeah, so this one really cracked me up. I never noticed this as a kid, but now that I've seen it, I cannot unsee it when watching this episode. So this construction worker right here, the short king right here, all right, pay attention to his pants. At first, he's wearing these like grayish, bluish pants right here, as you can see, all right? Remember these? They're kind of fresh. I need a pair. Then the scene changes, but when we go back to it and we see the same short king over here, look, his pants are now like a beige color. I'm doing a side-by-side and they like completely changed his pants. I don't even know how something like this happened. Maybe his pants were originally going to be beige. I don't know. Maybe it's a layering issue because if you look, they're standing on sand, which is a similar color. I don't know, but this is definitely a mistake. And here's another one from Skill Crane.
Need some change? There you are.
Gee, thanks.
No, Mr. Squidward. Thank you.
This one is very easy to miss, and me and the team had to rewatch it a couple of times to actually catch the mistake. So in the footage you guys just saw, when Mr. Krabs is thanking Squidward after giving him change, it happens right before the coins start rolling, but the leftmost end of Mr. Krabs' belt turns gray for a frame. Obviously, it's supposed to be black, as we've seen in every other appearance of Mr. Krabs, even in this episode. But for a moment, it is gray for a single frame, and that, my friends, is totally a mistake. Don't worry though, guys, we've got more. We're gonna head over to another episode, and you guys are gonna really like this one because it's from an iconic episode that I love. All right, let's do it. Let's head over to our next episode.
The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma.
I told you guys this episode is iconic, the secret box. This episode is all about Patrick having like this box, and he won't show SpongeBob what's inside of his box, and this drives SpongeBob crazy. You know what really drives me crazy though? The mistake in this episode. Roll the footage, please.
Inside this very box is the most secrety secret in all of secretdom.
Yeah, so let's take a look at this PNG of SpongeBob right here, and we'll all notice that he has freckles on his face. He has 3 freckles on each cheek. This is a major part of our boy's design. But there's a massive animation glitch in this episode, as before Patrick mentions Squidward's house, look at SpongeBob's cheek as he has double the amount of freckles. Like, it looks really weird. There's like 6 of them. This has never happened before and has never happened since this episode, so totally a mistake here. Like, look at how weird that looks. Anyways, let's go to the next episode.
We got fresh water, a rugged tent,
and a nice fire to keep us warm.
Hey, where'd you get the firewood? You burned our food supply!
Up next, we have To Save a Squirrel, and this is actually a pretty good episode. I like this one. SpongeBob and Patrick go off to find Sandy, and the mistakes in this episode are very interesting, especially this first one. Let's see if you guys can spot it.
Carrots! You're making soup out of me!
It was not! It was supposed to be stew!
Did you guys catch it? If not, I do not blame you because this one is going to need some explaining. There is some explaining to do here for sure. It has to do with this puddle right here, as it seems that Patrick goes under the puddle when he's running, during his running animation. And I don't mean like he steps in the puddle like he's stepping in water. I mean like the art for the puddle is literally overlapping his leg, like it's on top of his leg, as you can see here. This is 100% a layering issue, where you can see that the puddle's layer should be under Patrick's layer, I guess his body layer, but they messed up and swapped them, which is why this puddle is like on top of Patrick. So weird, man. It's so weird. Not as weird as this next one, though, from To Save a Squirrel. Roll the footage. It has to do with one of SpongeBob's pores.
Ruined our tent and lost all our water. Patrick, we are gonna need to use our razor-sharp quick wits if we're gonna make it out of here alive.
Did you guys catch it? This one's actually fairly easy to catch if you pause at the right frame, which is what we just did for you guys, but I got you. Don't worry, I'm gonna explain it. When SpongeBob says, Patrick, we are going to need to use our razor-sharp quick wits if we're going to make it out of here alive, one of his holes just becomes transparent for a split second. Like, you can see right through it and see the sky behind it, which is not supposed to happen. SpongeBob's pores are never just entirely see-through. They're just holes into his body. So being able to see the sky through our yellow spongy boy over here is 100% a mistake, and a fairly bad one, actually. But all right, let's keep it moving, guys. Let's head over to another episode. Coming in hot, we've got Blackened Sponge. This is a weird SpongeBob episode. The title's very weird, just saying, Blackened Sponge. But it's all about SpongeBob getting a black eye and lying about it. He actually like slips and hurts his eye, but he goes and lies to everyone and tells them that he got in a fight with some dude. SpongeBob, you're such a capper. As a matter of fact, we're gonna get into the mistakes, but I want you guys to hear SpongeBob's elaborate little lie here about what actually happened.
When a wanton cry of distress pounded against my eardrum, I quickly located the source of the cry. Don't worry, I'll save you the face. The hurler was none other than Jack and Crazy Fish. With cat-like reflexes, I preempted his attack, but the scoundrel had me sabotaged, and I fell face down on a pile of extra-large staples. He lunged at me, but I got him in the ribs with my novelty feather duster. Down he fell like a mighty oak. Jack and Crazy Fish burst into tears. The force of his crying was so strong, I had to take evasive action. One of the blasts went haywire and hit me right in the face. And that's how I got this black eye.
Yeah, so that's what SpongeBob says is what happens. Again, we're gonna get into the mistakes, but this is what actually happened. Look.
What a relief! For a second there, I thought I gave myself a black eye.
Yeah, SpongeBob, you are a massive liar, and guys, here's the first mistake from this episode.
Hello, little fishies!
Hi, Sandy.
Hello!
You guys probably caught this one, but when SpongeBob says, "Hi, Sandy," look, part of his white shirt is black, when of course it's supposed to be white. I don't know what happened here, but it's definitely not supposed to be black. Here's mistake number 2 from Blackened Sponge.
SpongeBob is 13 and a half minutes late for duty. Well, looks like I was right about the accident part.
This one is definitely going to need some explaining, but it's pretty rough. So, when Incidental 107, this guy right here, first appears in Mr. Krabs' comments about how late SpongeBob is, Incidental 107 is seen in his normal color scheme, alright? This is how he's always drawn in color. However, though, when SpongeBob eventually comes in and walks past Incidental 107, who's with Incidental 14 at the time, look. Incidental 107 is now just a completely different color. They just completely changed his design, and there's only one of Incidental 107, so this was absolutely, positively, 100% a mistake. And believe it or not, I've got another one from this episode. 3 in 1 episode is wild.
And karate kicked his hairpiece right off of its snaps. He was so ashamed, he ran all the way home, leaving behind a pool of tears.
Did you guys catch it? Well, when Jack M. Crazy Fish, the dude that SpongeBob supposedly beat up, when he in SpongeBob's story runs all the way home, leaving behind a pool of tears, major cap, we can see that SpongeBob is wearing his Krusty Krab hat. But guys, what's missing? Come on, let me know in the comments what's missing from his hat. I'm gonna give you guys like 5 seconds to figure it out. Yeah, he's missing the anchor on his hat. Massive mistake. Let's keep it going though, gang. Let's head over to another episode, and don't worry, random mistake of the day is coming up soon.
Then who was flickering the lights?
Nosferatu! Back to the classics. Next up, we've got Graveyard Shift, and this one's a cool one where Squidward and SpongeBob are forced to work like overnight, and they get terrified when this new kid is coming to apply. They think he's the hash-slinging slasher, but he's actually just this cute kid right here. All right, enough spoilers. Here's the first mistake.
SpongeBob, no matter what I've said, I've always sort of liked you.
Squidward, I used your clarinet to unclog my toilet.
So let's take a look at SpongeBob's design, all right? We're looking at this PNG of our favorite yellow spongy boy right here, and you'll notice he has this red line right here under his mouth. It's always been there ever since season 1, and it never really disappears. It's supposed to represent like the under part of his jaw, I think, or the bottom part of his mouth. But anyways, in Graveyard Shift, when Squidward and SpongeBob are shaking under the misconception that the hash-slinging slasher is approaching, that red line under SpongeBob's mouth actually flickers between normal and invisible. I'm playing it in slow motion right here. I zoomed in and I sharpened the footage, and yeah, you can see it kind of just goes back and forth between the two, which is very awkward and weird. You know what's also gonna be weird though? The random mistake of the day, a quick segment in every video where we take a moment to talk about mistakes from a random cartoon suggested by you guys. And then we go right back to SpongeBob. Don't worry, we're gonna get right back to your favorite spongy boy. Today, we're gonna do Pokemon. That's right, guys. We're gonna do some Pokemon. We're gonna catch them all today. Now, the episode in question is the episode Weekend Warriors, and I'm gonna show PNGs of them on screen. It has to do with these 3 Pokemon, all right? We've got Meryl, we got Breloom, and we got Shroomish, all right? I want you to remember their colors and their design. All right, you guys got it? You got it? All right, roll the footage. Let's see if you guys can spot the mistake.
As soon as May discovered this exciting event was taking place in Silvertown, well, you can be sure she wasted no time in entering.
Did you guys catch it? If you're a hardcore Pokemon fan, you probably did. If not though, Cartoon Corey's got you. Pretty much, there are a bunch of coloring errors with Pokemon in the shots you guys just saw. More specifically, this one right here. First up, we have this Meryl, who is incorrectly colored as light blue. This one's pretty soft. I'm not gonna lie, this one's not that big of a deal. Regularly, Meryl is like this dark blue color, but this Meryl is light blue, which is kind of weird. But like I said, not that big of a deal. What's really a problem is this Breloom right here. Normally, Breloom looks like this, all right? It's green with like red claws, and then there's a bit of white in their design as well. Looks exactly like this. But in this one scene, the animators messed up and gave Breloom this like weird like blue and green color. And it's not a shiny, just saying, it's not a shiny Breloom. The other mistake is this Shroomish right here, which again, it's kind of like Meryl, it's not that big of a deal. But normally, Shroomish looks like this, all right? He has like this kind of beige top with green feet and then green dots on him. And as you can see in this episode, they completely botched his design. They gave him like white spots for some reason. The top of him is correct, but if we look at his feet are supposed to be green and they're not green. So yeah, 3 mistakes in one scene here. Like I said, if you're a hardcore Pokemon fan, you probably caught them, but back to SpongeBob. Also though, let me know if you guys want me to do more Pokemon in the future and comment other cartoons you want me to cover in the random mistake of the day. All right, back to SpongeBob. Back to SpongeBob, baby, and we're gonna be doing the episode Funny Pants, where SpongeBob is tricked into thinking that he's lost his laugh. We're gonna get into the mistakes, but take a look at this compilation of scenes where SpongeBob just cannot laugh anymore. It's actually really sad. Poor SpongeBob, dude. Like, his laugh is kind of iconic. I'm gonna play just a soundbite of his laugh. Dude, it's annoying, but it's iconic. It's a big part of his design, so I feel bad for him for losing his laugh. I also feel bad for the animators, though, for these mistakes. Here's the first one.
Hey, you laugh just like me.
So this one happens at the very end of the episode, and you know, it's kind of a tricky one. But at the very ending of the episode, when Squidward runs off of his bed, if we slow the footage down and look, it seems like he's walking on air for a moment. This might have been for comedic effect or something, but I do think this was a bit of an error. We don't know for sure though, so let's head over to mistake number 2 that's a lot more entertaining.
There he goes, off to share his laughter with the world.
This one's also near the ending of the episode, but when Squidward bursts through the hospital wall near the end, look, the heart monitor is still running, which shouldn't happen because Squidward is no longer like connected to the heart monitor. Weird. All right, one more from this episode.
Look, he's waking up.
Where am I?
Did you guys catch it? So let's take a look at Sandy right here and look at her design. A big part of it is on her like white suit right here. There's this acorn symbol right here. I'm circling it. Well, when Squidward wakes up from his coma, look, both Sandy's zipper and the badge from her suit are just gone. The animators just didn't draw it. I mean, to be fair, Mr. Krabs' hand is in front of it, but they should have at least drawn the zipper. So yeah.
Hey, all you bottom feeders. If you've already eaten,
Bitten, well, you might want to make room for seconds.
What?
That's right, Krabs. Now we have a secret formula, and it's in a bottle, and you can't have it.
One of the more underrated and underappreciated episodes from SpongeBob season 7 or 8, it's either 7 or 8, is Chum Fricassee. I probably said it wrong. Let me do a quick Google search. Okay, I just searched and it's Chum Fricassee, I think. I don't know. But anyways, this episode has one mistake and this one is actually like really bad. Take a look at this ridiculousness.
Sir, Crimple O'Rapper. That's my name.
I'm so sorry, sir. I'm not showing any O-Rapper.
Reservation? In this sinkhole?
There's a 2-year wait for a table.
If it isn't Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob. Now just follow me. I believe I have a table reserved just for you.
Like I said, this one's pretty bad. It's actually really bad, but when the people are laughing at SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs and the camera pans to Old Man Jenkins, there's actually a magic, mystical glass of water just floating outside of the table. Like it's literally just floating there. Like look at it. This is some Harry Potter stuff right here. I guess Old Man Jenkins is from Gryffindor. He's a wizard, but yeah, that glass of water is floating and that is like a really bad mistake. So let's keep it moving and head over to another episode though. Let's go.
There appears to be a Krabby Patty napping in progress. There can be only one culprit. Plankton!
The next episode we're talking about is the season 1 banger, Fun. Who remembers this song?
F is for friends who do stuff together. U is for you and me.
Dude, what a classic. I love old school SpongeBob. Unfortunately though, I've got some childhoods to ruin today, and here's the first one. Roll the clip. Let's see if you guys can spot it.
I do not see it.
Okay, I see it. It's a Krabby Patty, okay? I couldn't help it.
Did you guys catch that? As it's really bad. But while Plankton says he took the Krabby Patty, let's slow down the footage and take a look at the bottom of his legs as they just glitch out and keep disappearing and reappearing. It looks really weird. I don't know what's going on here, and that is definitely an animation mistake. This dude's legs are just tweaking. They're tweaking out. And there's more mistakes in this iconic episode. Take a look at this, and here's a little hint. Don't only use your eyes for this one, also use your ears, because it also has to do with audio.
For he's a jolly good rookie. For he's a jolly good rookie. For he's a jolly good rookie.
This next mistake has to do with audio. So if you guys missed the mistake in those clips, it's understandable because it's, you know, it's audio related. But let me explain. During the singing of For He's a Jolly Good Rookie, when they're celebrating SpongeBob for defeating Plankton, I want you guys to take a look at the crowd. As from what we can see, they are all male fish, all right? Male fish in the crowd. But if you listen closely, there's a female voice heard singing along. Now, of course, we're progressive here. Don't get it twisted. You can be whatever you want to be. But this episode came out in like the late 90s, so this was definitely a mistake. Listen to the clip again right here. You'll hear it's a female voice.
For he's a jolly good rookie. For he's a jolly good rookie. For he's a jolly good rookie.
Like I told you, it's a female voice. You just heard it, and look at the crowd. It's all men, so this was technically a mistake given the time. And there's another mistake in this episode. Take a look at this one. Let's see if you guys can spot it.
U is for you and me. Try it.
N is for anywhere and anytime and all.
Down here in the deep blue sea.
All right, so stay tuned, as after this mistake, we're going to be getting into the craziest mistakes in the video. So again, stay tuned. But staying on topic, if you look at the clams' mouths in this scene, they are out of sync with the animation during the Fun song. This one's really hard to catch, so to make things easy, I'm just gonna play the clip again, but this time in slow motion. And again, keep an eye on those clams' mouths.
Down here in the deep blue sea. A mysterious cookie jar theft has rocked the Star household.
So we always be talking about good old-fashioned SpongeBob, and don't get it twisted, I love this yellow sponge, okay? But I also love this pink and dumb starfish. So let's take a break from SpongeBob for one section. We're gonna go back to SpongeBob, don't worry. But let's take a break for a section and talk about the Patrick Star Show. Keep those eyes peeled. Let's see if you can spot it.
Johnny Law shows up.
Okay, guys, hold hands.
This one is just like really funny, dude. When you see it, you'll laugh because I have no idea how the animators would have made this mistake. But when incidental 118D gets out of the car, she is bright pink with blonde hair. As you can see right here, I'm zooming in. I really want you guys to remember this. It's important to the mistake. This shorty right here is pink with blonde hair. She's looking like a Barbie. But then in the very next shot, she completely changes and looks like this. To be fair, this is how she normally looks in other episodes. Like the whole pink and blonde hair thing was just for this episode. But Shorty literally just changes her entire color scheme in a matter of seconds. First she's pink with blonde hair, and now she looks like this. Some girls watching though, which one did you prefer? Which color scheme looks more fresh, right? Which one did you prefer? But anyways, here's another mistake from this episode. This is another funny one, but when Mrs. Puff in this scene yells, "Hit the brakes," take a look at her hair for this frame as it's gone. Her hair literally just disappears for an entire frame randomly and then comes back, which is hilarious, but not as hilarious as the mistake in this next episode. Let's keep the video moving, guys. Want to know what would be a ton of fun? Going on a family vacation with SpongeBob's mom and dad. And that's exactly what happens in the episode, A SquarePants Family Vacation. And it's a good episode. The plot is like fire in this episode. But of course, the episode has mistakes. There's 3 of them to be exact. And here's the first one, guys. Keep those eyes peeled. Let's see if you can spot it. This one is gonna require us slowing down some footage, okay? Because it happens so quickly and it's very easy to miss. So, when this boat is crashing through the Bikini Bottom outskirts mega mall, there are these 2 incidentals right here who are walking near the edge. Now, if we slow down the footage as this scene takes place and the crash happens, these 2 incidentals disappear way too early. You can see they're supposed to disappear a little bit later on, but if you slow it down, you can see they kind of just cut out of there way too early, and they just cease to exist. They just go poof, and it looks very, very weird. But that's not it for weird occurrences in this episode. This next mistake is even weirder, dude. Look at this.
Welcome, friends. Please come in. I'm so glad you all could make it. Tonight is going to be a magical evening filled with magic.
I told you guys it was weirder. I mean, look at this. When SpongeBob says, "I'm so glad you could all make it," our boy Mr. Krabs is not very crabby, as he doesn't have any legs. They're just missing. It's very subtle because it's kind of closer to the bottom of the screen, but where is that dude's legs? He's missing those skinny red legs, man. They're gone. Like I said though, this episode has 3 mistakes, so surprisingly there's another one. 3 mistakes in one episode, damn. Here's the third one.
I can't wait to get there. How about you?
No, I can't.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I really can't. I've been in this confined space too long already. Help! Get me out of here!
All right, let's turn down the volume back there.
I have an idea. Why don't we play a road game to pass the time?
This one is admittedly more subtle, but it's still like a mistake. So, Patrick's seatbelt, as you can see here, it's on while he's viewing the map. They're in the car, and he has his seatbelt on, you know, that's good. Kids, if you're ever in the car, make sure to wear your seatbelts, just like Patrick is right here. But when Margaret SquarePants, SpongeBob's mom, suggests playing a road game to pass the time, Patrick's seatbelt just disappears. I don't think the dude took his seatbelt off. What I think happened here is the animators originally drew him with the seatbelt, but But then we're feeling a little lazy for this scene because, you know, Patrick has to move around and just didn't draw the seatbelt again, making for a continuity error, a pretty bad one. And that's not it. We've got more mistakes in today's video, guys. Stay tuned. This next one is nutty.
Don't take me! No. Don't take me! Please! I'm too young! No!
Let's take another really quick break from SpongeBob and talk about another show from the SpongeBob universe, Camp Coral. Again, I'm gonna make it quick. The episode is Tag You're It, and here's the mistake. Let's see if you guys can catch it. So during the scene where all of the kids go outside to play, before it starts raining, okay, we can see these cabins in the distance behind SpongeBob, Patrick, and Sandy. All right, remember these cabins right here. It's sunny out. But then when it rains and ruins their fun, it becomes a rainy day and they go running back inside. Take a look as those cabins are gone. Here's a side-by-side. It's like the cabins were there and then they were too lazy to put the cabins in again when they went back out. And this is the same shot, and this happened in a matter of seconds. So there's no reason for the cabins not to be there. Anyways, we're just gonna head back over to good old-fashioned SpongeBob, but a quick reminder, I respond to the comments of all subscribers. So right now, guys, click subscribe, click that button, do it. Because if you subscribe and then comment, I'll respond to your comment for sure within the next 7 days. So do it, write your comment right now. All right, back to the mistakes, back to SpongeBob. Plankton and Mr. Krabs have had a long-lasting rivalry, but things really heat up in the episode Move It or Lose It. Now, the episode has tons of mistakes, but I really want to show you guys what the stakes are for this episode, Move It or Lose It, so here's a little bit of a plot summary.
The Krusty Krab and the Chum Bucket are located too close together. One of your restaurants is going to have to be bulldozed.
Bulldozed? 99 feet!
So, which one of us is gonna get bulldozed?
That's for you two to decide. You have 24 hours to decide which of you moves. That's the law around here.
Your customers won't miss a thing.
At least I have customers.
Oh, yeah? Well, I'm gonna put together a petition of customer signatures.
Petition? Squidward! SpongeBob! You two take these petitions to save the Krusty Krab and secure as many signatures as you can.
Excuse me, sir. Would you like to sign a petition to save the Krusty Krab?
Why would I want to do that? The food there is dangerous.
Sir, where did you get this?
It was on my windshield. They're all over the place.
Hey, Mr. Krabs, why are your patties dangerous?
My patties are dangerous because they're so,
delicious!
Kid's got a point.
Now there's something you don't see every day. It appears they are actually giving Plankton money.
Oh, forget this restaurant nonsense, Karen. I should have opened a yard sale business years ago. Looks like it's time to proceed to the next phase. Who wants free money?
You see what Plankton's doing, don't you? He's undermining the democratic process by leveraging his temporary financial windfall in order to buy every signature in Bikini Bottom.
Like I said, there is a lot at stake in this episode. Like, it's either the Chum Bucket or the Krusty Krab, which, you know, I would pick the Krusty Krab. I don't know about the Chum Bucket personally. I'm not trying to eat chum. Just look at this stuff. It looks disgusting. Here's a question for you guys. Comment your answer. Would you pick the Krusty Krab or the Chum Bucket? Let me know. But anyways, more importantly, this episode has a mistake. I mean, it's what you guys clicked on the video for. So here's the mistake. Take a look at this.
Free money!
Okay, one at a time, please.
This is another example of SpongeBob laziness, okay? When everyone comes to Plankton for free money, I would take some free money too. Take a look at the crowd as there are many duplicated fish. Like, look at this dude. He appears like 2 to 3 times at once. Or this incidental here who appears again 2 to 3 times at once. As I've said in many other videos, guys, there is like over 200 incidentals, so there is no excuse for just reusing the same ones. This is just lazy. It's lazy. Not as lazy as the mistakes in this next episode, guys. This is where things get really good. Watch this.
What do you say, Mrs. Puff? Let's get this party started.
Let's head over to season 8 for this next one. I'm talking about the episode Demolition Doofus. Here are some hilarious clips from this episode. It's a funny one.
So what do you say, Captain Nudefish? Will you enter him in the derby for old time's sake?
But I don't know. He looks kinda soft.
Here, SpongeBob, hold this.
You know, SpongeBob isn't a very good driver, as we've seen over the years, but I guess that kind of helped them in this episode. But anyways, here's the first mistake. Let's see if you guys can spot it. Here's a little hint. It has to do with this character right here, Incidental 41.
First up, veined crossing guards everywhere. The Cruncher.
So this admittedly is another nitpick, kind of, but it is still like a blatant mistake. But as I said, Incidental 41, right? So take a look at this scene right here and take a look at Incidental 41's lips. As you can see, they're like a pale yellow. Right here, I'm zooming in, remember the color of those lips. But then in the very next scene, literally seconds later, poof, take a look at the lips now, they're blue. I doubt Incidental 41 randomly went and put like lipstick on or something. This was just a weird mistake. First they're like pale yellow, as you can see here, and now they're blue. Like what? What happened? The same can be said for this next mistake right here. Let's see if you guys can spot this one.
Oh dear, I think I'm in that fellow's way. Engage turn signals. Adjust mirrors. Hands at 10 and 2, and finally, fly!
This one is really, really easy to miss, but take a look at this. As you can see, SpongeBob lifts up his left leg to floor it, all right? He lifts up his left leg. But then, like, in the next shot, his right foot is shown on the gas instead, when it was his left leg that he, like, lifted up. Not that big of a deal, kind of a minor mistake, but it's still a mistake, and guys, I've got another one. Check out this.
Are you still alive?
Put it in drive! Thanks, Mrs. Puff, you're the best.
So take a look at this guy right here, the Cruncher, all right? I don't want to mess with this guy. I don't want no beefs with this man right here. But anyways, look at him. As you can see, he has these back fins. It's a part of his design. They're on his back. They're right here. You can see them. Well, when the Cruncher drives away from SpongeBob after he drives over him and nearly ends his life, take a look at the Cruncher's back as those fins are just gone. They're missing. What happened? Fish don't just randomly lose their fins. So this was another mistake. They drew him with fins, as you can see here, but then in this scene, they were lazy and forgot about them.
One Krabby Patty, hold the mayonnaise.
I would like one Krabby Patty.
One Krabby Patty, hold the mayonnaise.
Actually, I want one with extra mayo.
Coming in hot is the episode Planet of the Jellyfish, which in my opinion is an episode that isn't talked about a lot when it comes to SpongeBob. The episode's pretty good. Of course though, it has some mistakes. It has 2 to be exact. Here's the first one.
Whoa, look at all the customers.
One Krabby Patty, hold the mayonnaise.
So take a look at this dude over here, Incidental 27. As you can see, he has a tail fin. It's right here, all right? You can see it right here. Well, the mistake is that when SpongeBob first enters the Krusty Krab during this scene, Incidental 27 is missing that tail fin. And later on in the episode, when he's seen growling at SpongeBob, he has his tail again, well, his fin tail again. Yeah, definitely a mistake here. For this one shot, it's just missing, and that's not supposed to happen. This next mistake also wasn't supposed to happen. Keep those eyes peeled, and let's see if you guys can spot it.
You two stay out of trouble. Bye.
Did you guys catch it? Well, take a look at our favorite little snail over here, Gary. More specifically, his shell and the colors on his shell. As you can see, the shell is pink, and then there's like these purple or bluish dots on it, and then there's like this red swirl on it, right? All right, you can see it right here. Well, whoever animated this episode needs to be educated on our favorite little snail, as just before Gary is engulfed by a gelin, take a look at this dude's shell, as that's not right. The colors have been inverted. I'm gonna do a side-by-side. This is how it's supposed to look on the left. Yeah, on the right, that is a mistake. It's not supposed to look like that. Gary, you poor snail. But let's head over to another episode, guys, with more mistakes. Let's go. Next up is the season 12 episode, Farmer Bob, which is, in my opinion, a good season 12 episode. I actually enjoyed it, but before we get into the mistakes, here is a really funny clip from this episode. I'm gonna make it real quick, guys.
I got lots of licenses. Driver's license, fishing license, marriage license. Oh, here it is! Tractor license!
Okay, let's get into the mistakes. Well, the mistake. There's only one in this episode, and it's like really bad. Roll the footage. This one, it's really easy to like not catch the mistake, guys. Even me, when I was looking for this one, I had a hard time. But during this exterior nighttime shot of the barn, when this tractor drives by and everybody is supposed to be dancing, the characters dancing are not actually looped correctly. It's supposed to be like a smooth loop where they dance and it just keeps on repeating. But as you can see right here, I'm showing it in slow motion and I'm zooming in. The loop is just off and it looks really weird, guys. This was a bad mistake. And we have more. Let's head over to another episode. Do not click off the video.
This must be a whipped cream holder.
The episode Sports is a pretty good episode from season 10. What did you guys think about it? Let me know in the comments. What I know for sure though is that this episode has 2 spicy mistakes. Here's the first one. Take a look.
Play that squirrel! Play that squirrel!
See you on the court, Your Highness.
I will admit this first one is a tiny bit of a nitpick, but it's still like a real mistake, all right? So pay attention to this character right here, Incidental 64. As you can see, their eyes are white, all right? Like you can see it right here on your screen. They have white eyes. Well, when Sandy and Squidward are about to play some basketball, when they're about to shoot some hoops, make some dunks, Kobe! While this is happening, Incidental 64's eyes are like a deep, murky blue color instead of white, which is totally a mistake. Normally they look like this, they're beautiful white eyes, but in this one shot they're like this random color. Again, I'm kind of nitpicking, this is a subtle mistake, but this next mistake in this episode is much worse. Take a look at this.
Oh, that was a foul!
Tell it to your mama, Squidward.
Mama?
I'd want to hear it.
Yeah, so take a look at this shot of the crowd, and you'll notice that there are a ton of duplicates of incidentals, which is super lazy. There is more than enough incidentals, guys, that they could have filled out this entire crowd with different incidentals. But look, this one incidental appears like 3 or 2 times in the same shot, which is very, very lazy. But let's keep the video moving and head over to, yet again, another episode with more mistakes. Out of SpongeBob's 13 seasons, I'd say that seasons 7 and 8 are the most like underrated seasons, where people don't talk about them as much. And even when I look at the episodes released in those seasons, there's a ton of episodes like I don't even recognize. One of those episodes was Love That Squid, which is pretty good after I watched it. Take a look at some of these hilarious scenes.
Squidward, would you please pass the roasted kelp?
Here you go, ma'am.
Oh, thank you, sir.
I think she's giving me the cutesy eye. So, do you hang out here often?
Well, this is my home, silly.
Who is that? She's gaga gaga. She's gaga 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 gaga. She's wow.
Bruh, Squidward be simping in this episode. My boy, a big simping for Squilvia over here, which I don't blame him. She's kind of cute though. But anyways, this episode has 2 mistakes. Here's the first one.
Well, since no one seems to want to take my order, I'll go elsewhere.
What? She's leaving.
Oh, no, she's not. Hang on, buddy.
Finally, some service around here.
Hey, in which way? Remember, Ray, the 8th day.
This one's like really weird and just random, dude, but when Squilvia walks away from the register, a motor appears in the boat. Like, it just appears. It then disappears once they go to the front of the dining room, but I mean, where did it come from? This motor just randomly appears and then disappears? What? Let's keep it moving and head over to another episode. I got lots of content for you guys today.
Something wonderful is about to happen to you.
I love puppies.
You will soon injure your legs.
My legs!
We've been talking about a bunch of older SpongeBob episodes in today's video. Episodes from like season 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. But it's time for some modern SpongeBob, some widescreen. So let's talk about the episode Lame and Fortune. Here's the first mistake.
La 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 la. Time for a refill.
What is my future?
Yeah, so in the scene right after SpongeBob takes Plankton's fortune cookies, Lenny is shown without his suit. The character Lenny, this guy right here, is shown without his suit on in the wide shot. For a majority of this episode, he's wearing his suit. But in this one shot, his suit just isn't there. They just forgot to draw it. And then in the next shot, the next scene where Squidward asks for a break, look, dude is back in his suit again. So he was wearing his suit, then he wasn't wearing the suit, and now the suit is back on. Like, don't get me wrong, the suit is fresh, but let's have some continuity here, Nickelodeon. This was a mistake. And that's still not it, guys. I've got one more mistake for this episode. You need the eyes of a hawk to catch this one, and hopefully you guys did catch this one because it's kind of a classic mistake. So, when Incidental 114 and Incidental 115 are dancing, look at them, they've got the moves. Take a look at the Galley Grub menu, as it's spelt as G-A-L-L-Y, grub, when it's supposed to be G-A-L-L-E-Y, grub. So, another mistake there. One of my favorite episodes of SpongeBob is procrastination, and it's because I think we can all relate to this episode. We've had plenty of times where we have homework or just other things we need to get done, and we'll find any reason possible to not do it, and that's exactly what SpongeBob does in this episode. It seems the animators might have been procrastinating a little as well though, as there's 2 really bad mistakes in this episode. Roll that footage.
I swallowed one. Water. Water. That was a close one.
What do you mean overly dramatic?
All right, so mistake number 1. Were you guys able to catch it? Don't worry, because Cartoon Corey's got you. But during this scene right here where SpongeBob is at the sink and we see him drinking water, it happens really, really quickly. And it's only for a couple of seconds, but 2 parts of his black belt right here turn yellow. I don't think I need to tell you guys, but SpongeBob's black belt is always, you know, black. So this right here is some sort of layering issue. I'm showing it again and kind of looping it, and just, yeah, it's not supposed to look like that. SpongeBob, I think you need a new belt, buddy. That or maybe some new animators. Nah, 2D animation's hard. But here's mistake number 2.
Down here.
You get up here!
I gotta get back to work.
Stop, Pants! You get back here this instant! Pants!
Now this one I'm sure you guys caught, especially if we paused it at the right frame, but before SpongeBob is locked out of his house in this episode, as the door slams shut for about a split second, look, our favorite yellow boy is just missing his mouth. It's only for a split second, so it's not that big of a deal. It's not like his mouth is missing for the entire scene. It's still a mistake, and it's quite the funny one. Like, look at SpongeBob here with no mouth. Crazy. You know, it's also crazy though, the mistakes in this next episode we're gonna cover, so let's keep it moving. Next up, we have Crusty Love, and this episode is all about Mr. Krabs' dying love for Mrs. Puff. The only problem is that Mr. Krabs, anytime he spends money on Mrs. Puff, it causes the dude to go crazy. Like, he is cheap. You know he's the type of dude trying to split on the first date. Gotta love him for it though, he's kind of a king. Anyways though, we're not here for all that. Here are the 2 mistakes in this episode. They're spicy. Let's start with mistake number 1. Roll that footage.
I don't think I could eat another bite.
Oh, I doubt that, my little shrimp boat.
You're spoiling me, Mr. Krabs. Caricatures? Imported music?
Yeah, this one's like hilarious. So when Mr. Krabs first goes on his date with Mrs. Puff, at first we can see him wearing this fancy outfit, all right? My boy is looking smooth, he's looking good. Like, keep him away from my girlfriend, Mr. Krabs, you're looking good in that suit. But here's the thing, as the scene progresses, right? While they're out on the date, Mr. Krabs is wearing that fancy outfit the entire time. But for one scene, like one shot, look, the animators messed up and drew Mr. Krabs in his regular outfit. When in the shot before this, as you can see here, he's wearing the fancy clothes. And then seconds after we see this shot with the mistake in it, he's back to the fancy clothes. So totally a mistake. It's only for one frame, but Mr. Krabs should not be wearing his regular outfit here. It's definitely really funny though. Like, I don't know how they made that mistake, but here's mistake number 2 from Crusty Love.
What's that smell? Register! 4908? That's a penny short!
This one is easy to miss, but when Mr. Krabs over here rushes over to the cash register in the clips you guys just saw, look, they just didn't draw his legs. Now, it might have been for like comedic effect or something, but I mean, come on, he should have his legs here. They're just missing, and that's a mistake. Like, Mr. Krabs needs those legs. Wild, dude. So many mistakes coming up though, guys. Like, the mistakes coming up are going to blow your brain, so let's keep it rolling. Let's head over to our next episode. All right, so listen, I know the Patrick Star Show is a whole other show, but I mean, it literally stars Patrick, who is like a main character in SpongeBob. Plus, it's not like we're gonna actually watch the show, we're just gonna expose some mistakes. So we're gonna go back to regular SpongeBob, but let's talk about the episode, Is There a Director in the House? The mistake is very tricky though, so I'm gonna play the clip and then I'll come back and explain it, all right? Roll that footage.
What if I was attacked by a Viking? And what about another Viking?
And break for lunch in 10. Go for Viking 2.
So at the very beginning of this episode, Patrick is doing his routine and Squidina is working in the background. And as we can see right here, there are two Vikings on her screen. There's Viking 1 right here, who has like a purplish pink body, and then Viking number 2 over here, which has like a green body. And they're literally titled like that, Viking 1 and Viking 2. So what's supposed to happen is that Squidina lets Viking 1 out to fight Patrick, all right? And we see that happen. We see the computer screen flicker out, and we see the same Viking that was on that screen come out and beat up Patrick. Now, remember, Viking number 2 is a different color than Viking number 1, and eventually gets to the point where Squidina sends out Viking number 2. So we should see this green Viking right here come out, Viking number 2, since the pink one already came out because he's Viking number 1. Well, if you look closely, when Viking number 2 comes out, it's actually the exact same design as Viking number 1. The green one just never comes out, which makes no sense when the green one is Viking number 2. So I'm over explaining it. It's not that big of a deal, but hopefully you guys caught the mistake here. It's a funny one. Let's head over to another episode though that has like a much more blatant mistake. Like the mistake in this next episode is really bad. Let's keep it moving. Next up is hide and then what happens. I'm gonna get right into the first mistake. Let's see if you guys can catch it.
Oh, no! You aren't the one I'm seeking! No, I'll never find Patrick. He wins it. Hide and seek. He wins, he wins.
This one's pretty bad, and it actually happens fairly commonly in SpongeBob. But when SpongeBob says he wins at hide and seek, he wins, one of his eyes actually partially turns yellow, as you can see right here. I don't think you guys need me to tell you that SpongeBob's eyes are normally white, but in this one shot of this episode right here, it's kinda yellow, which is pretty bad. SpongeBob, you need to go and see a doctor, broski. That's not okay. But what's also not okay is the other mistake in this episode. Take a look at this, guys.
Thanks again, Sandy.
So a little bit of science for you guys. Submarines, right? I'm showing random submarine footage right now. They need to be in water to move, all right? They move in water. Well, take a look at this scene in Hide Then What Happens. As this submarine is able to move around in Sandy's tree dome, which as I mentioned before, wouldn't be possible. There is no water in Sandy's tree dome, which is why SpongeBob and Patrick have to wear these water helmets. And to make things worse, if you look, the submarine shows bubbles being made from the propeller when they're inside a waterless tree dome. So just, yeah, that's a mistake and just kind of a messy scene. But guys, check out this mistake. This one's even worse.
99 or 100. Now, where is he hiding? Way too obvious.
This one's kind of funny. So right here is Conch Street. You guys know this street. It's iconic. SpongeBob, Squidward, and Patrick's houses all are on this street. But in Hide and Then What Happens, when SpongeBob looks around and sees Patrick's house, neither Squidward nor SpongeBob's houses are shown, which is totally a mistake. I mean, again, look at this shot of Conch Street. They should be right there. And even if it isn't a mistake, the animators are very lazy for not drawing them. So just, yeah, a bit of a messy episode, guys. But stay tuned, as I'm saving some of the best mistakes for the ending of the video, so stay tuned, all right? Let's keep it moving. Let's go back in time to old SpongeBob, the Steven Hillenburg era, and talk about some mistakes in the episode Your Shoes Untied. I love this episode. It's a good one. Any classic SpongeBob I love. Anyways, though, here's the first mistake. Roll the footage.
Wait! Don't go!
Oh yeah, we are definitely out of here.
Yes!
Let's That's me money hooking out the door.
This one is really, really funny. So guys, when the customers start to leave the Krusty Krab in this scene, this character right here, known as Incidental 67, wears a pair of pants that are similar to SpongeBob's, okay? You can see them right here. They're kind of fresh. Look at this guy, jacking SpongeBob style, stealing his drip. Here's the problem though, guys. When the customers leave, this Incidental's pants just disappear. Where are they? At first, he's wearing these pants right here, but then in this scene, they're just gone. I highly doubt he took off his pants in the middle of the Krusty Krab. The burgers ain't that good, guys. But anyways, let's keep it moving and head over to another mistake in this episode. This one's pretty bad.
What's the holdup?
Now, any hardcore SpongeBob fan like myself knows that this character right here is Old Man Walker. And I mean, it's in his name. He's old. He's an old man. I love the guy, but he's a senior citizen. But I guess whoever made this episode kind of forgot about this, because when Old Man Walker says what's the holdup to Squidward, he talks in a young man's voice. Here's a clip right here showing his old voice again from another episode.
I was hoops when I was a little kid. Many years ago.
You're telling me there have been many years?
He's old, right? As you just heard. Well, listen to his voice again in this episode.
What's the holdup?
Dude is like a young man again somehow. I don't know how this happened, but this was definitely a mistake, guys. This one's kind of bad, but hey, that's not it for today's video. Let's keep it moving and head over to another episode. Let's go. Next up is the classic episode, Franken Doodle. I love this episode. Shout out to Doodle Bob over here. This guy's crazy. This man's a menace. Now, this episode has a ton of mistakes, but keep your eyes peeled for this first one. Roll footage.
Be careful with that thing. Who knows what'll happen? Very funny, Doodle.
Okay, so I already know that this one is going to need some explaining. So here's the thing. When SpongeBob and Doodle Bob are in SpongeBob's living room, in the initial shot of the TV, the images next to it are just shots of barren landscapes, as you can see here. Then, in the next shot, they randomly change and are now images of Patrick, SpongeBob, and the pineapple, respectively. Then they change for a third time, and now they're just solid colors. And then, for the fourth time they change, they just go back to the images of SpongeBob, Patrick, and the pineapple. And then, guys, believe it or not, in a fifth shot, they go back to the solid colors. So this back and forth happens multiple times, and pretty much just as you can see, these shots over here just constantly change. Really weird mistake. Let's keep it rolling though and head over to another episode. Next up is Kenny the Cat. And you know, this episode isn't bad. It isn't necessarily my favorite. What do you guys think about it? Let me know in the comments. But what I do know for sure is this episode has two mistakes. Here's the first one. Keep those eyes peeled.
SpongeBob, please let me explain. I'm just a cat with a dream. A dream to give the gift of hope. Have mercy.
So throughout this episode, this character right here, Kenny the Cat, as you can see, he has gray nails, okay? It's in multiple scenes. You can see right here, I'm zooming in on it. But during this one scene where Kenny says, have mercy, why are they white? His nails just randomly are white in this one scene, as you can see here, but in every other scene, they're gray. So like, what? The animators definitely got a little bit, you know, mixed up here. It's not that big of a deal, but it's still a mistake. And hey, there's more. Here's mistake number 2.
I knew Kenny was a fake.
Yeah, so when everyone finds out that Kenny the Cat over here is a big old fraud, he's a big fat phony, the fish walk away and we can hear a male voice say the word liar. But the issue is that this character that actually says liar is a female character, right? Like, it's always been a female incidental character, but the voice that comes out is a male voice. Now, I mean, hey, we're very progressive here. Just considering when this episode came out, I do think that this was a mistake. It wasn't supposed to be a male voice. But what do you guys think in the comments? I don't know. Let's keep it moving and head over to another crazy episode full of crazy mistakes. Season 5's Krabs a la mode is another interesting episode. It's not my favorite, but it's not the worst. But I do like Plankton's scheme in this episode. Instead of explaining it, I'll let these clips show you what he does. It's very interesting.
Into every life a little rain must fall. Well, maybe it is personal. I'm touching a thermostat! I'm touching a thermostat!
Plankton quite literally turned the Krusty Krab into a winter wonderland. At one point, people are literally ice skating around the Krusty Krab, which looks kind of fun, but I don't think that's the place to be doing that. This episode, as I said though, has some mistakes. Here's the first one.
I'm touching a thermostat! I'm touching a thermostat!
The temperature stays at 62 degrees.
There's icicles hanging from the ceiling.
So as you guys seen, a big plot point in this episode is Plankton changing the thermostat of the Krusty Krab. That's how it gets all icy in there. But as you've seen in the clips, he changes the temperature of the thermostat again, but how would he have done this? Because the thermostat freezes. We literally see it get ice on it. It's frozen, so I don't think it'd be working very well. So yeah, another mistake here, and here's mistake number 2. So speaking of frozen objects, as you guys can see, there is one shot where the cash register is frozen, but then throughout the rest of the episode and every other scene, the cash register is no longer frozen. But hey, mistakes happen. You guys know what time it is though? It's time to talk about the random mistake of the day, where we take a quick break from SpongeBob to talk about mistakes in another random cartoon that we don't talk about all that often, usually suggested by you guys. We're gonna go right back to SpongeBob, don't worry, but today we're gonna do the Loud House, more specifically Casa Granda's, which is like a spin-off of the Loud House. I actually really like this show, it's good. Again, we're gonna go back to SpongeBob, but stay tuned. The episode is Cursed, and here's some context. It has to do with this character right here, Carlotta, and it has to do with their legs, okay? Roll that footage and let's see if you guys can spot the mistake.
Gotta go, gotta go. Oh, babe, I'd never go before you. You're my number 1.
No, you're my number 1.
Well, I gotta go number 2.
Lynn Lab with the steal.
Did you guys catch it? Well, when Lynn shoves herself in front of the line for the bathroom in the clips you guys just saw, Carlotta over here has no legs in a few frames. Like I'm zooming in right here and they're just missing their legs. Like the legs are just not there. There's no legs. The animators just didn't draw them, which is hilarious. And let's head back to good old-fashioned SpongeBob. This episode we're going to be covering now is Squid on Strike, and this episode is all about Squidward going on strike, and here's why. I'm going to show the clip because it's a really good clip, recapping why Squidward goes on strike, and then we'll get right into the mistake. It's a rough mistake. Anyways though, roll those clips.
I got something for you.
You're making me pay you to stand at the cash register?
There's gonna be a few changes around here. Every time I catch you two goofing off, I'm gonna charge you for it.
Well, I am not paying that cheapskate Krabs 1 cent. And I suggest you do the same. We've got to unite as workers and demand the respect we deserve from the boss.
It's time for mistakes, guys. Pay close attention. And here's a hint. It has to do with the Krusty Krab sign, the letters of the sign. All right, roll the footage.
I'm glad you saw it our way, Mr. Krabs.
Now I can fire them teenagers and get me 2 golden boys back. Well, see it work.
Yeah, this one's interesting. You guys may need me to explain it, so like listen closely, all right? So in the scene you guys just saw with the disassembled Krusty Krab, where Mr. Krabs is about to walk outside, some of the letters of the Krusty Krab sign, for example, K, which is attached to the clam, we also have S, Y, and R that have fallen onto the ground. However, if you look over here, there's an extra letter T behind the clam, which is a mistake. In Krusty, there's only 1 T, so if the sign has fallen apart, there would never be 2 T's. Like look at the sign while it's intact. As you can see, there's only 1 T. So in this shot right here, why is there an extra T? Totally a mistake.